Our media innovation group is in the media business unit, which is located in Santa Monica, California. That's where all the business and product decisions are made. And the engineering, the front-end engineering is also down in Santa Monica. The back-end engineering is up in Sunnyvale. We have a little outpost in Berkeley, California. And our mission, as I mentioned before, is to make the content that appears on the Yahoo network. And these are both the finance and information sites like news.yahoo.com, finance, sports, and lifestyles, which have tech and food and health, as well as the entertainment sites, which are TV, movies, games, a new entertainment hub, OMG, and music. So we aggregate a lot of external content that are done through partnerships, not just scraping. We actually have partnerships, a lot of exclusive content as well. We also have a group called Originals, which makes content at Yahoo, and you'll see that fast and easy on food, hook me up on tech, sports stream. There's a whole litany of ones. The Nine in entertainment, and between all of that, the content is exposed to users in a relatively, I don't want to say benign, but a well-known, not as exciting as possible way. So our group looks at some of this stuff, come in and say, well, what can we do to make it more delightful, more engaging, want people to spend more time? The other thing we have to look at is what differentiates us from the same site at MSN, or the same site at AOL, or the same site at Google. What can we do? And those are the other portals. Then, of course, for each property, we are neck and neck with a specific well-known brand. ESPN in sports, MSNBC in news, we've got GameSpot, GamesTV.com and TV, and on there, right? So I put together a group about 2.5 years ago, mostly Flash-oriented, which was very different than what's going on in our regular web development at Yahoo, at least in our network division. I'm trying to change that. What we were doing was using Flash to expose people to new ways of thinking about interacting with content. For instance, besides this badge that we just released on the election site, which had we not been around, no one would have done or thought of. And in a way, it's not just a badge that says, I support so-and-so, but when you click it, it then flips around and feeds from AP polls, Yahoo Buzz, money raised, delegate counts, all are exposed in a pie chart on the back of the badge. Well, that's kind of innovative. And again, there is content that, we could have just put line-by-line items, but this is something that someone can take on MySpace, put it on their site, so it personalizes them to say, I support Obama or Clinton or McCain. And at the same time, lets people turn it over and see how their candidate's doing compared to the others. That's an example of a current project we just did. Another one that just went up on next.yahoo.com is using a technology called paper vision, which is a 3D rendering technology within Flash. We decided, wouldn't it be great if we just took the Earth, and every time a new story hits the RSS feed in the world, show where in the world it's happening to, move the globe to it, and display it. So we'll sit there. It's a big app now. Our next step is to shrink it down and make it either a little app, a little Air app on the desktop, or a badge. Those are sort of fun little toys. The other thing we've done is we worked on the architecture of our new Yahoo Extensible Player. This is our video platform that is replacing all what we called our Flash-only player and universal players in all the properties. So it started with video.yahoo.com. You're going to see it on Flickr. Then it's going to hit things like news, TV, movies, and replace that. And what that platform gives us is the ability to write modules that coexist with the video, overlay modules. So, some of this was motivated by the fact that our top drawer partners, Comcast, Kraft Foods, all over that advertise with us, don't believe that post-rolls or pre-roll do it for them anymore. They want interactive ads that happen within the body of the video. So we have designed modules that can do everything from generic ads that let people, that pull down a curtain, let you interact, jump off to get more information, to actual, if you look at some of our originals, actual modules that interact with the original. So if I have Fast and Easy, I can have an ingredient list come down and print it from the video. Right? I can jump off to Kraft Foods if I want to. So that's another thing that our group did.
What does Yahoo as a company or this website gets back?
Differentiation from our competitors. Okay, monetization and new monetization methods. traffic drivers, right? Especially now that we're moving off to the desktop as we spoke. Those I see are benefits. And of course, getting engagement up as we move from a world of page views to time spent. That's also very important.
And how are you going to plan to use air?
Well, as I mentioned here, if you saw our minibar demonstration, okay? If I have someone if I had that same thing in a web page, there's a conscious notion that I have to open that web page and engage with it full time, right? If I make it a tiny little sidebar that I put to the side of my work, so that as I'm working, every so often I glance over at it, oh my gosh, look, there's a picture of Britney Spears coming up. That lets me, without putting my full focus on it, attend to it, click it, get the web page up, and then go back to what I'm doing. So in a way, it helps me multitask, and it's ever present on the desktop. I don't navigate away from it, right? I don't open the web browser. So that's how I see that as pushing more traffic than we'd normally get if you just said, come to our front page for news or come to our front page for entertainment. Running out of time, but I was going to say that those of us who are versed in ancient internet technology will remember that would know what I meant if I called this Pointcast Lite.
Exactly.
So that's what I felt it was. We were doing sort of a Pointcast Lite. It's a son of Pointcast. It's now ready for prime time, and it will sit there in this small way and interact with you. We have other ideas for we designed a desktop video app that allows you to open up very small thumbnail video windows around your desktop and program them with video feeds, and then monitor them as you work. They get transparent, and if you stop for a minute, they come in, and then you look at it and go, oh my God, I want to see that. You click it, and you get a full screen. So we're doing things like that. That's why we like the desktop stuff. That one actually was written in .NET before Air. We can rewrite that in Air now.
Right. .NET is over. I mean, for you, it's
not over. Just let's see what happens with Silverlight 1.1 is what we're saying.
Okay.
Actually, it's now Silverlight 2.0.
2.0.